KGUN 9, brought to you by Arizona Oncology. KGUN 9 on your side, live at 6, starts right now.
Monsoon really hitting hard today. 2 people caught in a flash flood near 22nd and Culp. Take a look. One person pulling the other out of the rushing water from a flooded car. KGUN 9 viewer Daniel Nash sending us this video, calling it 2 lives saved.
And check this out, one car you can see floating down the street, water rushing like a river. This is in Midtown near Glen and Tucson. Yeah, good evening. Thank you for joining us. I'm Pat Paris.
And I'm Valerie Cavazos. Let's get right to Kyler Diggs. It has been an active afternoon.
Wow, I tell you what, the east side of Tucson was right in the bullseye of that big storm that developed to our south and quickly moved into the area and dumped all of that rain. Most of that rain fell within about a 30 to 45 minute time period, so that's why we saw so much flash flooding, and we were seeing rainfall totals anywhere from 1 to 3 inches. We'll take a look at those here in a little bit, but right now here's a look at the radar that shows a pretty quiet scene across southeastern Arizona right now. Still plenty of moisture in our atmosphere, and we still have a flood advisory in effect until 7:15 for north central Pima and south central Pinal counties. But other than that, things are looking pretty good. However, you look downstream here, there's still plenty of moisture that's rotating around that high pressure system that's parked just off to our east. So we'll keep a few showers in the forecast overnight tonight, and maybe even an embedded thunderstorm or two. Now let's take a look at some of these rain totals. Officially at the airport, just over 1/3 of an inch, but look at that. Camino Seco and Escalante Mary reporting 3 inches of rain there, and you go right on down the list. 1 to 3 inches was pretty common on the east side. We'll take a look at your back to school forecast coming up.
Okay, Kyler, thank you. And that monsoon thunderstorm did come through Tucson, causing heavy rain and a lot of flash flooding.
And crews called out to swift water rescues in a number of spots. 9 on your sides, Brian Brennan joins us live. And Brian, the skies look clearer now, but the water is still running in many areas.
That's right. You know, this is a really good reminder why you want to stay out of washes during monsoon. I mean, just a few hours ago, this was dry. Look at the water now. It's running very quickly and up high as well. A lot of places around town, a lot of washes are running very full, so please be careful around them. We were also in the area of 22nd and Kolb today, and it looked like a little pond after the heavy rain passed over. We watched as one car had to be towed onto a flatbed truck to get the driver out of the water. Another car got a flat tire, probably after losing control or hitting something under the water they couldn't see.
And the water kept rising. It was amazing, actually. And it went up halfway up the wheel into the car. We hope the engine's not dead, too wet. It obviously wouldn't start, so this gentleman's going to tow it to the mechanic, and we'll see what happens. I've lived in Tucson 45 years, and this is the worst flood I've seen. I was in one at Alvernon and Grant, or Alvernon on one of those streets that was really bad once, but this corner is pretty bad.
Again, this time of year, it's important to remember the phrase, turn around, don't drown. Reporting live, Brian Brennan, KGUN 9 on your side.
Thank you, Brian. Monsoon is here, and we have team coverage tonight tracking the monsoon aftermath around the city.
Yeah, we're going to find Craig Smith now on the east side with more about another swiftwater rescue. Craig?
Right now we're on Prudence near 42nd, and this is an example of how it really pays to read your streets and know the ones that will be trouble when it floods. You can see this downslope into this area, and a wash comes right out here and cuts across the street. You get heavy rain, this is going to be a trouble spot. Now let's go to some video that we can show you just how much of a trouble spot it was earlier today. 2 cars got stuck here. Good neighbors came out with large trucks and tow straps and pulled those cars out of that high water. But shortly before this video happened, the Tucson Fire Department came and got one man out of that dark-colored SUV. What he told us afterwards was the water pressure kept him from opening the doors, so he needed to be rescued. So again, be very, very careful and be aware that even if it's not raining hard right where you are, it could be raining upstream, and that water is going to surge right back at you. Reporting live, Craig Smith, KGUN 9 on your side.
All right, Craig, thank you. And continuing coverage now, a 1-year-old girl has died after being shot in an East Side home. That was yesterday afternoon.
Tucson police say it appears to be an accident, but detectives are investigating. It happened at a home near Piedmont Swan. Officers found the infant with obvious signs of gunshot trauma. She was rushed to the hospital but died today from her injuries. Investigators say a toddler in the home got hold of a gun and accidentally shot the infant. Police say the case will be reviewed by the county attorney.
A year after the death of their daughter, 2 parents are trying to make some good come out of that tragedy.
They've recently published a video and website to help people through moments when they are considering suicide.
They told 9 on Your Side's Brian Brennan they hope their efforts generate conversations between parents and children and gives suffering people some tools to cope.
Rhea and Dan adopted Rachel when she was just weeks old. They say she was a quiet soul that anyone could talk to. She was a talented artist and filled her room with giraffes.
She loved giraffes, yeah. She loved animals. Rachel really was the kindest-hearted person you'd ever come across.
Most people didn't realize Rachel suffered from anxiety and depression.
We miss her every moment of every day.
Rachel went missing June of last year.
She was found the next day in the morning about 10:30. There were some severe storms.
Rhea recently made a video listing 7 things people considering suicide can do.
That's where the video really came from, was what do we wish Rachel had done?
They want people to know that suicide leaves behind devastation, grief, and guilt.
People asked what it's going to be like on the day that she died 1 year later. And I said, I don't see it going to be any different than any other day that I've been living this entire year. And it was no different.
Most importantly, they're trying to make some good come out of tragedy.
What Rachel really wanted to do was make a difference in the world. And it's so hard. So we're trying to do it to honor her.
Brian Brennan, KGUN 9 on Your Side.
Yeah, it's very difficult for families to talk about.
Yeah,
all right, still ahead, KGUN 9 is talking to the candidates running for Tucson mayor.
Up next, we're going to sit down with Steve Farley ahead of the primary election. You're watching KGUN 9 on Your Side. Tucson voters choose a new mayor in November, but a lot will happen in August when Democrats choose among 3 candidates.
Yeah, KGUN 9 on Your Side's Craig Smith interviewed all 3 of the Democratic candidates, Randy Dorman, Steve Farley, and Regina Romero. We start with Steve Farley.
Steve Farley has not held city office, but points to a long record of service to Tucson and Pima County as an activist on transportation issues like the streetcar and the Regional Transportation Authority, and with 12 years of service in the State House and State Senate.
I think we need to do a better job at getting on top of potholes. We need to do a better job at reducing response times for our first responders, which means more commissioned officers on the street and more firefighters on the street. We have to make sure that people know not only will their potholes get filled when you call them in, but their entire neighborhood is going to get resurfaced on a regular basis.
Farley thinks one way to collect more tax revenue to pay for pavement and police is to annex unincorporated areas like the foothills in the northwest side.
Because we have so much unincorporated area, we're losing about $70 million a year that otherwise is going to Phoenix that we could be using to invest in our public safety, in our roads.
As big box stores go vacant, Farley wants to transform the space into sites for new business, housing, and jobs. Farley does not support the referendum that asked voters to declare Tucson a sanctuary city for immigrants. He is concerned about the risk of penalties from the state and federal governments, but says he does support the rights of asylum seekers and immigrants.
I don't want to make them into a target in a big political battle the way that this would turn out to be. I think our Tucson Police Department is doing a pretty good job already making people feel safe, whether or not they're documented, in order to be able to serve as witnesses to crimes or report things that have happened to them. I think when you have a big battle over it and you declare something, all of a sudden you create a conflict where there should not be a conflict, and the people who we say we want to help might end up getting hurt.
Craig Smith, KGUN 9 on Your Side.
And stay with us tonight. The 3rd mayoral profile will air tonight at 10. You can also see Regina Romero, who we profiled at 5 o'clock, and all the interviews on KGUN9.com and our 9 on Your Side mobile app.
All right, let's go to Kyler Diggs, and he's going to talk about school forecast.
Yes, it's hard to believe that school is already going to be back in session. Of course, some have already gone back, but for those going back tomorrow, you can expect a mild start to the day and a slight chance of thunderstorms in the afternoon. We'll give you all the details in the forecast coming up.
First Warning Weather is brought to you by Hamstra Heating and Cooling.
Skies are looking a little gray over Tucson after all that action that we saw a little bit earlier this afternoon. If you're just coming into town, you'd never know how bad it really was on the east side just a little while ago. As far as the high temperature today, we did make it up to 94 degrees. We got enough sunshine to get those temperatures up over 90 degrees, and 72 was our overnight low. 98 and 74, the average is 111, the record high back in 1986. And officially at the airport today, we picked up just over 1/3 of an inch of rainfall. High temperatures across the rest of southern Arizona. Well, we were kind of all over the board because of that moisture we had moving in here. That Wilcox temperature of 68 there, probably not. I think that was a little issue with the observation station there. But we had a lot of 80s and 90s on the map, and we also had a lot of rain on the radar earlier, but it is all pretty much cleared out right now. We're still seeing some isolated showers, even a thunderstorm here or there. But other than that, things are pretty quiet right now, and I think they're going to remain that way overnight. However, as we look downstream here, there's still a good amount of moisture rotating around that high pressure system that's parked over New Mexico. So we could still see a few showers and thunderstorms right on through the evening and into tonight. Now, Doppler radar estimated these are some of the areas that picked up the heaviest of the rainfall. It estimated 1.4 inches on the east side, but of course we saw isolated areas that did get 2 and 3 inches. Right now we've cooled it down to 80 degrees in Tucson, 80 in Nogales, and we're seeing some 70s across Cochise County. Overnight tonight in Tucson, we will keep a slight chance of showers and maybe an embedded thunderstorm or two in there into the early morning hours, and temperatures will drop into the upper 70s by early tomorrow morning. Right now we're in the upper 60s in Show Low and the Grand Canyon, and 64 degrees in Flagstaff. Still some triple-digit heat out to the west and northwest of us. High pressure parked over New Mexico will continue to put us in a favorable position to keep that moisture flow in here, but I don't think it'll be on the scale tomorrow as what it was today. So probably a less active day. 60s across Cochise County tonight. The rest of us in the lower elevations will see 70s, and we'll even see 56 degrees in Summerhaven overnight tonight. And then for tomorrow, with the additional sunshine, slightly drier air coming back in here, this is where we start to crank those temperatures up just a little bit. We'll be close to 100 degrees in Tucson, 71 in Summerhaven, and then as drier air moves in and a little bit more sunshine as we round out the week, we will see temperatures bumping up over 100 degrees as we head on into the weekend. But even then, we've got a slight chance of showers and thunderstorms to help cool us off, and it looks like maybe next Tuesday and Wednesday they could be active monsoon days as well. So more action to come, and Pat's got some sports action for us.
I sure do, Kyler. Diamondbacks ace Zach Greinke pitching 5 strong innings today at Yankee Stadium before a rain delay. He didn't return. Instead, Greinke is dealt to the Houston Astros at the trade deadline. The D-backs do get 4 top prospects in return. And in a separate deal, the Diamondbacks acquire veteran righty Mike Leake, an ASU alum. A strength last season is now a question mark this year for Arizona football. Who's going to catch Khalil Tate's passes? Senior receiver Cedric Peterson is now the veteran leader of a group not getting much respect.
Oh, yeah, for sure. Yeah, I mean, of course, everybody kind of thinking we don't really have nobody back here, but, I mean, that's okay with us. We're in here working, putting our heads down, and just hope everybody's ready for what they got to see coming this upcoming season.
Peterson is excited to have Jamari Joyner in his wide receiving group. The Cienega product is making the switch from quarterback and has an edge.
I mean, he's a quarterback, so he kind of already knows where to be at. You know, he already knows what the quarterbacks want from a receiver, so he just brings another mindset from the quarterback room into the receiver room.
Kevin Sumlin and the Wildcats continue preparing for their season opener August 24th at Hawaii. At Cardinals training camp in Glendale, the veterans know how to gain a performance edge. As Cameron Pullum reports, it's all about what they eat.
in a sport all about power, performance, and athleticism.
DJ Humphries, left tackle. I'm 6'5" and some change.
5'10", 195 pounds.
6'5", 310 pounds.
What does it take to fuel these massive men?
I mean, for me, I always need to make sure I'm eating right because I'll get out of hand sometimes.
At 312 pounds in his 5th year in the league, DJ Humphries has learned a lot, and he's seen the diets come and go.
A lot of guys have specific diets that they're able to stick to, and they make sure we have a wide variety of foods that would match those different types of diets.
For wide receiver Christian Kirk, he's on the pickier side when it comes to what he eats.
What's on my plate? Oh man, it's a lot of specifics. You know, I don't eat eggs. I do a lot of like oatmeal and stuff like that.
To be young again. Most diets consist of lean meats, lots of fruits and vegetables. The bigger you are, the more calories.
5,000, 6,000, 7,000 calories a day range.
But with all this healthy eating, everyone has to have a cheat day, right?
I'll go subs, calzone.
Big gelato guy.
Usually when I have a cheat meal, it messes me up. I don't feel too good after, but it's worth it, you know, during the time we're eating it.
I'm Cameron Polam, ABC 15 Arizona.
7,000 calories. We'll be right back. You're watching KGUN 9 on your side. A change, at least in ownership, is coming to several restaurants in the Tucson area.
And so Fox Restaurant Concepts have been bought by the Cheesecake Factory. It's a more than $350 million deal. The businesses say they were working out details to integrate North Italia and realize the potential for their partnership. Tucson is home to 4 Fox restaurants: Blanco Tacos and Tequila, North Italia, Zen Burger, and Culinary Dropout. And we'll be right back.
All right, so we've got a pretty quiet night in store for us. However, with all the moisture we've got in our atmosphere and a little bit of energy out there, we could still see a few showers, maybe an embedded thunderstorm or two, but it should be pretty quiet for us.
Need a little bit of a break.
Yes, we do.
Thanks, Skyler. Thanks for watching.
We'll be back at 10.